So what's going on with HEX? Well, let me tell you, I'm extremely bullish. I made a tweet on X yesterday and I said only $9 million of positive buy pressure into each of the four core coins would put HEX to over $1. Now, I got a lot of mixed responses on this, and let me explain. So, if we look at HEX, we have to understand liquidity because that's a big component to this puzzle. If the liquidity has been thinned out, meaning anytime someone sells, it can really dump the price. Anytime, and we're talking about bigger players here, like larger quantities. If someone with a lot of funds decided to buy, well, then they can really pump the price. So it works out both ways. And in the process, this allows redistribution, or it allows the changing of hands from the weak hands to the strong hands. So I wanted to go down and look at this tweet that I made yesterday. In less than a day, has 18.5 thousand views, 415 likes, 63 retweets, 65 comments, 11 bookmarks, a lot of opinions. So let's look at some of these opinions, and then I will answer them. I didn't want to respond to every single person because it takes too much time. I'd rather do it this way. So there's one comment in particular I want to look at. Coach K. Now, he said exactly why it's a scam, LOL. And my response is if you don't understand liquidity and redistribution, just say that. So let's click on his on his Twitter once. This guy has 134,000 followers. And I could almost guarantee you, because a lot of these big crypto accounts, or some of them, they don't even really get a lot of engagement. I almost feel like half of them don't even know what the hell they're talking about in crypto, honestly. Five likes. I'm not really sure. And I wanted to see what other kind of coins this guy would possibly show. Yeah, you can see like he doesn't even get really any engagement. And I think that's why some of these guys like to gravitate towards the Hex community, even if it's in a negative way, by saying like Hex is a scam. That's more engagement than he gets on his post. If he came on my post and said Hex is a scam, he's getting more engagement than on 80% of his own posts. So, I mean, that's the state of some of this crypto Twitter stuff right now. I mean, it's just meme coins and whatever. Let's get back to the topic here. So, Hex is a unique coin. It's a coin that Richard developed. That's not a fork of anything. It's his pretty much his own creation, and it's designed in a way to pump. It's brilliantly designed. You can stake anywhere from 1 day to 15 years. So what happens as the supply continuously gets staked out for 15 years? There's less supply coming onto the market. So essentially, you're creating a flywheel of different dynamics that will allow the price to pump. I mean, so what you really have here is a misunderstanding of some individuals that think the market cap is too high for it to pump to a certain level, but it has more to do with the liquidity rather than the market cap, because it's all about how many coins are for sale. If there's not very many coins for sale and a large amount of money comes into the market, into these liquidity pools, and it gets injected into these liquidity pools, the price can go really high really fast. And that's what you've seen in 2021 when HEX went from, I don't know where it was around March. I mean, a few penny or a penny, I don't know. It went all the way up to 50, or maybe it was less than a penny, and it went all the way up to 50 cents, 55 cents. So, I mean, these things can pump really hard and they could pump really fast. But for some reason, a lot of people just don't understand that, and they don't. And we've been down for so long that a lot of people have psychologically kind of given up, but that's making me more bullish because that lets me know people are tired. Like the sellers are being washed out. And I didn't even cover the rate cuts yet. I mean, if we look back at 2024 or no, 2025, March, yeah, it was in March. The OA had staked or it did stake all of its supply for an average, I think 8 or 9 years. Well, the whole 92.5% of the whole hex supply has now been staked for an average of 9-ish years. So that means there's only 7.5% of all the coins circulating. What happens when you have a multi-year distribution or where the changing of hands of coins being flushed out from strong or from weak hands to strong hands, on top of thinning the liquidity, allowing volatility to take place, on top of people still staking 5,555 days. And then you have a mega multi-million dollar marketing campaign going on. So the combination of all those things, and we haven't even got to talk about the macro markets yet, because the Fed is going to start lowering. Jerome Powell is going to be out. They're already lowering the interest rates. So like the accumulation of all these things together is going to cause massive pumps in the future, in my opinion. And again, it's never financial advice, but the fact that I just showed you, if we look back at the top of my tweet, where I strictly or literally said only $9 million into all four coins separately would put Hex at $1.15 per token. So that's not that crazy to really think about it if Hex was at 55 cents at one point already. So it's been shown that it can go that high. So what's a 2x from 55 cents? $1.10. So do you think $1.15 is really out of the question? I mean, retail hasn't even shown up yet. That's why I said back in September-ish, when everyone was, I seen a lot of big accounts saying, get ready for the blow off top, get ready for the blow off top in November or October, November. And I was looking at the metrics. Retail had never even shown up yet. So because retail hadn't shown up yet, because that's to me one of the bigger indicators of where we're at in a cycle, because they didn't show up, I thought to myself that the cycle could potentially be different. You get new information, you're supposed to change how you view the the information that you had thought would have been previously right. So because retail hadn't shown up yet, I mean, if you have, I mean, how many times have you heard anybody talk about Dogecoin at all over the last year and a half, 2 years? Okay. Elon Musk was tweeting about Dogecoin. Dogecoin went to over 70, I believe 70 cents in 2021. Okay. In my opinion, the bull market, altcoins didn't really do much. Retail didn't show up. this is the first time Bitcoin in a I want to say it was in a quantitative tightening era. You know, before that, it was just printing. Bitcoin existed when there was only printing. And it still, during the tightening, went from 15,000 to 126,000, which is like an 8x, I believe, or around there. So you have to understand all these dynamics are in play right here, from the thinning of liquidity to changing of hands to the Hex had the equivalent of 2 Bitcoin halvenings all at once 10 months ago to we are some of the only crypto coins currencies to get legal clarity. We literally beat the SEC in court. I mean, what other cryptocurrencies beat the SEC? Can you count them? Can you even count that many on one hand? I know 4 of them or 3 of them: HEX, PulseChain, and PulseX. So we have legal clarity. We beat the SEC. We have a multi-million-dollar marketing campaign going, which to me is genius. It got a lot of hate, but I don't really see why. Because if you look at these LCD writing tablets that are branded with PulseChain and Hex.com with the logos, these might not get thrown away by people when they enter their homes. They might get the kids might play with them. It might go on the fridge. You know, it's creating branding recognition. So these are going to go out into the millions of homes. And then you have people making the argument that, well, if the price of Hex starts pumping, there's people that are just going to sell off. Well, cool, let them. You know, a lot of people have sold already. A lot of people are gone already. How many people have disappeared? Like that you don't even see them making YouTube videos anymore, or you don't see them on X anymore. You don't see them posting about it. They disappeared. So if people want to but that's the whole point of the marketing campaign. So if millions of these LCD writing tablets go out to all these different homes, well, you're creating awareness. So now that you're creating awareness, you might onboard new people through that. And if you onboard even 1%, a 0.5% of everyone, I mean, you could double or 2, 3, 400,000 new holders. So if a couple thousand people want to get out, let them. There's people that will come in to replace them. We have the biggest community, crypto community. We have a shit ton of YouTubers. The amount of YouTubers we have is astronomical. And I don't know if a lot of you have known yet, but I changed up my kind of a rebrand. So I wanted to go over this quick before we end the video. I wanted to go on my profile here. Okay, I rebranded the Hex Stake Play. So I'm kind of doing crypto and gaming crossovers. So I'm still going to put out crypto videos on occasion, but I'm also going to do gaming live streams where you guys can participate. And a lot of times I'm going to have giveaways. So you should stay on the lookout for that. I do have one coming up Friday around either 5 or 6 p.m. where I will be live streaming Elden Ring for 3 to 4 hours. And at the end of the stream, I will be giving away 5 million PulseChain. And the details are pretty much you come, you participate, you like, subscribe, and you leave a comment. And towards the end of the live stream, I'll copy the link of the live stream in a random name generator for everyone who commented, and it will pick a winner. So that's how that works. But that's something I wanted to start doing. I think it's fun. I think it gets people involved. It gives us something else to do. And, you know, Why not win 5 million PulseChain? So come hang out, have fun, have a chance to win 5 million PulseChain. You know, we're in a bear market, so that 5 million PulseChain might not be worth much now, but it can be worth a lot more later on, into a bull market. So stay tuned for that. I'm going to try to do one of those each and every week, one live stream. So I think that's going to be kind of fun. And you have the opportunity again to win 5 million PulseChain. So again, $9 million is all it would take for HEX to hit $1. That's not counting any sell pressure though. That's positive buy. That's what I mean by positive buy pressure. The more money that enters, of course, the higher the price is going to go. And yes, there are going to be people that want to sell, but you also have to account for FOMO. How many times do people like to chase green candles? Okay, well, that's the whole point of the tablets. If those enter millions of homes, we're creating awareness of our coins. And when you create awareness of your coins, people are aware of them. Now, when they're aware of them, if they see green candles, they can chase green candles and they could come into our ecosystem. This can create more X users, more YouTubers, more holders, more stakers. What if a few thousand people out of all these tablets ago decide they want to start staking for 5,555 days? Do you not think a few thousand people doing that a month would have an effect on the price with 92.5% of the coins locked up for an average of 9 years? I mean, I like to think so, but we're going to wrap it up here. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe, share on all your socials, hit the notification bell. Stay tuned for those those live streams. I'm really excited about that because that gives me an opportunity to interact with you guys doing something that's not necessarily crypto while still giving crypto away and possibly attracting new audiences. So let's push that. Let's get into the algorithms so we can reach new audiences. But with that, we're going to wrap it up here. See you guys in the next one.